My model girlfriend was dating me for my money, so I secretly used her connections to get revenge. Now my ex is trying to win me back. I'm 29, and I've been with my fiancée Bella, 25, for almost a year. Bella is an aspiring model and an incredibly beautiful woman. So beautiful, in fact, that during the first few months I could hardly believe we were actually together. My friends couldn't believe it either, since I look completely average. And while people say looks aren't everything, I still felt awkward being with someone that's stunning compared to me. I was fine with simple dates, but around the 6-month mark she began hinting that we should get married. By then, I was so in love with her that I was ready to grant her any wish. So 7 months into our relationship, I decided to propose to Bella, and she agreed without hesitation. My friends and family were a bit shocked at how fast things were moving. But since I seemed happy, they didn't ask many questions. Our relationship was going relatively well. Sure, we had our ups and downs, but I believed our love was real, at least on my side. Then, about 3 months ago, she invited some friends over to help with wedding preparations. That day I wasn't feeling well, so I was resting in the bedroom. After a while, I got up to grab something to eat. Near the kitchen, I froze when I heard Bella and her friends talking about me in the living room. They hadn't seen me, and they kept making nasty remarks, laughing at their own cruel jokes. They mocked all my insecurities, and I stood there burning with anger and shame. The worst part was when Bella herself joked that she had snagged a rich loser with terrible looks and was now living the dream. That vicious joke made them all burst into laughter. I went back to the bedroom because I couldn't listen to any more. I didn't even want to know what else she might have said. I was furious. I wanted to break up with her on the spot, but I held myself back. Instead, I decided to play the long game, to use her just like she had used me. I'm a web developer with a decent income, so I pay all the bills. Bella couldn't afford them anyway. She's only starting her modeling career and doesn't earn enough to maintain the lifestyle she wants. Her parents aren't wealthy either, so she relies heavily on me financially. She even moved in with me just 2 months after we started dating, saying she couldn't afford her rent. I offered to let her stay temporarily, but she never moved out. Since then, I've been paying for everything: her taxi rides to castings, clothes, accessories, cosmetics, and more. So she wasn't entirely wrong when she joked about finding herself a rich fool. When I overheard that conversation with her friends, I was ready to end things. But then I came up with a better plan. I have a cousin, let's call her Irene, 23, who once tried to become a model. I knew she had plenty of money. Her father is a highly successful businessman, but he disapproved of her career choice, considering it a waste of time. He refused to help her financially until she secured some modeling contracts on her own. Irene moved to our city a few months after I started dating Bella, and I knew she could use my help. But Bella had forbidden me from helping her, claiming the modeling industry was too competitive and that Irene could become a threat. So Irene had to make her own way. Although she had her father's credit card, she was young, inexperienced, and had no industry connections. But after overhearing Bella's cruelty, I decided to help Irene on one condition: she'd send me half the money from every contract she landed through my tips. From then on, I started tracking all the castings Bella attended, networking with the right people there, and then passing those contacts to Irene. Sometimes she got the job, sometimes not. But whenever she did, she always sent me half the pay. She was still angry at her father for not supporting her, so this was her way of hitting back. I was fine with the arrangement. My income kept growing every month. Of course, I had to keep it a secret from Bella. She would have suspected something if I suddenly showed an interest in an industry I'd never cared about before. This went on for months, And over time, I completely lost all feelings for my girlfriend. I still hadn't broken up with her because I kept using her connections to help Irene. But other than that, I tried to minimize our communication. I was still romantic and sweet with her when we were together, so she had no idea what was really going on. I had also told my parents, just a week after overhearing her insults, that I wasn't going to marry Bella. They didn't know the details, but they knew there would be no wedding. Of course, I didn't tell Bella any of this, so she kept planning the wedding, asking me to book the venue and arrange the vendors. I agreed every time, but I never actually did anything. This week, a few things happened at once, and she finally found out everything I'd been doing behind her back. The wedding invitations were supposed to be sent out by now, but as I said, I hadn't prepared anything. At the same time, my cousin Irene finally signed a contract with a very prestigious modeling agency. She was incredibly grateful to me, and even her father was appreciative. He actually sent me an extra $5,000 for all my help. Honestly, they're generous people, so a few days ago, when Bella asked why the invitations hadn't been sent yet, I decided it was time to tell her everything and end our relationship. I'd spent months keeping up this act, and now that I'd made enough money out of it, I saw no reason to continue the charade. Irene had achieved what she wanted and no longer needed my help, and I had completely lost any feelings for Bella. When she asked about the invitations, I told her the truth, that I hadn't done anything for the wedding and that there would be no wedding at all. She was, of course, shocked and asked if I was joking. That's when I told her I had overheard her little joke with her friends and never forgave her for it. When she asked why I stayed with her so long, I explained that I used her to help Irene's career and that Irene had been paying me generously for that help. Since I had decided to be honest, there was no point hiding anything. She was stunned, and her reaction was pure hysteria. She cried, screamed, and accused me of betraying and using her. I told her that all of this had happened only because of what she had said about me behind my back. Bella then claimed it was just a joke that turned out to be not funny at all, but rather cruel and humiliating. We argued for a while, but eventually, she said that I had betrayed her in the worst possible way over a simple joke, something she wouldn't even wish on her enemies. She broke down completely and said she had truly loved me, and that instead of talking to her, I had chosen to destroy our relationship over some silly joke. I stood my ground and explained that it wasn't just a joke to me. It hit me deeply. Jokes are supposed to be funny, not outright mean. And her words were exactly that, mean. What hurt wasn't just what she said, but the fact that she sat there among her shallow friends, mocking my appearance, and never once tried to defend me. She actually joined in on the fun at my expense. That's what hurt the most. I was the one paying for absolutely everything she wanted and constantly making sure she was happy. I clearly didn't deserve that kind of treatment. On top of that, I had been working even harder to provide for both of us. So hearing her mock me for not being as attractive as her was especially painful. She packed her things right after the fight and left about an hour later. I didn't try to stop her. I was too angry and hurt. For the next 2 days, I buried myself in work to distract myself and feel nothing. I knew I had fallen out of love with her long ago, but I had grown used to her presence. Sometimes I even thought I might fall for her again. But now that it was over, I didn't know what to do with myself in the empty house I came back to. This morning, I got a message from Bella saying she still loves me and is willing to fix things if I want. She wrote that she misses me terribly and can't imagine her life without me. I still haven't replied because I don't know what to say. I don't know if I miss her, love her, or want to get back together. I have no answers to any of those questions because my feelings are in complete chaos right now. I don't even know what to say to her. I feel like a total jerk for what I did to her. Maybe she was right. Maybe I really did misunderstand everything and blew it way out of proportion. The truth is, I really did use Bella to boost Irene's career and to get rich myself. Before we go on, I suggest you share your thoughts in the comments about what you've just heard. We had a similar story recently. Maybe you remember it, but in that one, the girl was mocking intimate details to her friends. This feels different to me. Back then, I said I didn't even know how to feel about it. On one hand, it's immature and not okay. On the other, when you're young, things like that happen, and maybe it's not worth condemning too harshly, especially when both people are immature. But here, it's a bit different. This girl was straight up telling her friends that she was only dating her boyfriend because he was a rich idiot. That's a whole other level. It's one thing to say he makes weird noises or that something about his body is unusual. It's another to outright say you're only with him for his money. So I think the author did the right thing here. Could it have just been bragging to her friends? Maybe, but even if it was, it shows a lot about her character, and not in a good way. Let's keep going. Update. In the end, I didn't reply to Bella's message. I read a lot of comments on my post and realized I might have crossed the line. I even thought about contacting Bella to apologize for everything, but then I got a message from one of her friends who wanted to tell me something. She sent me a screenshot of her conversation with Bella, where Bella asked if she could stay at her place for a while until her loser boyfriend, meaning me, either made up with her or she found someone new. This friend told me Bella had sent this message to their entire group, saying she'd left after a fight, but without explaining what the fight was about. She said she felt awkward because Bella kept bad-mouthing me even though we were supposed to get married in a couple of months. She decided to tell me to ease her conscience. She didn't know I was already aware of what Bella had been saying behind my back, but I'm grateful she spoke up. It saved me from apologizing and taking Bella back. Looking back, I dodged a bullet. All the criticism I got for staying with Bella out of revenge was fair. It made me rethink everything and nearly pushed me to apologize. But we'd all been fooled. Bella really did deserve everything I did. If this were about a normal, less selfish person, I might admit I acted wrongly. But this was Bella, the embodiment of narcissism and selfishness. I still can't believe she wanted to come back only because she had nowhere else to live. Not surprising, though. In recent months, she'd become extremely lazy. She only went to castings and did nothing around the house. I didn't mind cleaning up after us both, because thanks to Irene, she brought in decent money. She didn't even go grocery shopping, so I spent less than I earned. When I saw that screenshot, I was so glad I hadn't answered her. After that, I decided there'd be no reconciliation. She's just a terrible person. What I did might seem crazy, but she earned it. I blocked her everywhere and even started thinking about moving to a bigger apartment to avoid any chance of running into her. I've been doing well thanks to Irene and her father, and in a couple of weeks I'm getting a raise. Perfect time to start looking for a new place. My friends were shocked when I told them the wedding was off. They had no idea. Once I explained, they couldn't believe I'd pulled this off. Some think she deserved it. Others think I went too far and should have just broken up the day I heard her joke. But once everyone knows she faked her love just to live rent-free without lifting a finger, I'm sure they'll agree she got what she deserved. Even if she finds a guy willing to let her move in after a couple of months, I doubt he'll be as blind and smitten as I was. Then again, maybe she will. I don't care anymore. I'm just glad she's gone and I won't have to deal with her again. Maybe she's realized that not every guy will turn a blind eye to her lifestyle or let her spend his money. Unless she goes looking for a sugar daddy, but that's another story. At one point, she got another phone number and started messaging me, trying to blackmail me into letting her come back. Her tactic was pathetic. She threatened that if I didn't let her stay until she found a new boyfriend, she'd tell everyone I used her modeling industry connections to help my rich cousin. I hope she realizes that unless she tells the full story, people will just think I was being a good relative. And I hope she's not naive enough to think she can spread lies about me while I stay silent. I told her that if she talks, I'll tell my side too, and the truth will come out. She has a decent following on social media, so it would hurt her more than me. She hasn't replied yet, and I hope she doesn't. I'm beyond sick of her. But as if the messages weren't enough, today Bella showed up at my workplace. The receptionist called me because she refused to leave without seeing me. I had to take her to a nearby cafe to avoid a scene at work. And of course, the moment we sat down, she started whining that I treated her unfairly and that she deserved a second chance. She wanted to prove that under the right circumstances, she could be a good girlfriend. I asked what she meant by right circumstances, since she'd already been living stress-free without paying for anything. Turns out, that's exactly what she meant. She said I'd spoiled her too much by letting her walk all over me. If I'd pushed back more, maybe she'd have been more attracted to me. I was too spineless and average-looking, and my lack of self-esteem made it easy for her to manipulate me without guilt. That's why she said what she said. But now that she knows I'd secretly been playing her the whole time, suddenly she feels attracted to me and claims she can finally take me seriously as a boyfriend. Yes, she really said this out loud. I had to fight the urge to laugh in her face because it was so absurd. I don't know if it was a desperate trick to get me back or if she truly believed it, but it was hilarious. I told her I'd think about it just to end the conversation because I was about to burst out laughing. She even made me promise to call her later. This is another reason I'm glad we broke up. Whenever she saw I was mad, she'd start acting cutesy, which was disgusting. I was too polite to tell her. I got home half an hour ago, still stunned that after everything, she's trying to get back with me just so she has somewhere to live. It's pathetic. She's so lazy and dependent that she can't even hold on to a shred of pride and leave me alone. I'm done talking to her, and next time she tries to contact me, I'll make sure she knows I want nothing to do with her. It's only been a day since she showed up at work, and today she called me again, this time from her friend's phone. I'd picked up, determined to end it once and for all. When she asked if I'd thought about what she said, I told her there was nothing to think about. Even if someone put a gun to my head, I still wouldn't go back to her. I went off, telling her everything I've been holding in, that she's a pathetic loser I'll never deal with again, and she should start looking for someone new to leech off. She argued that the only reason I have money now is because I used her and her connections to get close to my rich cousin. So, in her mind, I was the one leeching off her. And that's where the story ends. It might seem like an unexpected twist, but really, the outcome is obvious. They just broke up. By the way, I can't help but wonder, how exactly did the author even get those connections from his girlfriend? The only thing I can think of is maybe he used her phone and checked her client list or something. Maybe, but honestly, it sounds like a very shaky plan. Or maybe not. Anyway, share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching till the end. Check out our other videos right here, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss new ones. Good luck.